We're doing hyper, meaning overmuch or too far.
And it's on page 72 of your Roots book, okay? Do you know someone who exaggerates? He or she is using hyperbole, a figure of speech that uses embellishment and comes from the roots hyper, meaning too far, and bowl, meaning to throw. You've probably heard such expressions as, I've tried to diet 1,000 times, or your suitcase weighs a ton. These exaggerations, used for emphasis and not meant to be literal, are called hyperboles. You'll see that there's a little typo there because they fixed it in the actual words at the bottom and not in the top, so yeah.
Our first word is hyperactive, made up from the roots hyper, meaning overmuch, and actus, meaning a doing. It means more active than is usual or desirable. You'll see my two hyperactive children here very busy doing lots of different things at once. Hyperbaton is our next word, from the roots hyper, meaning overmuch, and bane, meaning to step. So, to step overly, a figure of speech using inverted word order. And the best example of this is, of course, Yoda.
Always with you, it cannot be done. Hear you nothing that I say.
He says things like, hear you nothing that I say, instead of, do you hear nothing that I say? So he inverts the word order.
Our next word is hyperbole. It is a figure of speech in which exaggeration is used for emphasis or effect. And it comes from the roots hyper, meaning over much, and bowl, meaning to throw. So to throw over, you've made something so huge, it's just so big that you've thrown it over all the way, right? So if you take a look, her hyperbole caused the audience to laugh. So her exaggeration, her extreme exaggeration was so big, people thought it was funny. If you've ever heard someone say, I'm so hungry I could eat a horse, that's a hyperbole. Okay?
Hypercritical means extremely critical, from the roots hyper, meaning overmuch, and critique, meaning the art of judgment. And you'll see I have the white glove test here. Someone puts on white gloves and tests for dust in your house. That's a little hypercritical. Hyperglycemia is excess sugar in the blood. From the roots hyper, meaning overmuch, and glycemia, meaning the presence of glucose in the blood. So you've got our sugar over here. Here's the blood, right? Hyperglycemia, too much sugar. Hyperopic means farsightedness. There's a longer definition here as well, which is good. Condition of the eye in which vision is better for distant objects than for near objects. That's what it means to be farsighted. If you look here, this picture just shows that. You have the girl here who's close up and she's difficult to see. You have the kids back here who are a lot clearer because the image is made to look farsighted, so you're seeing what's further away more clearly. It's from the roots hyper, meaning overmuch, and optus, meaning seen or visible. Hypertension is abnormally high blood pressure, from the roots hyper, meaning overmuch, and tender, meaning to stretch. So you see the guy over here, who's getting his blood pressure taken. He looks very uncomfortable. And over here it shows how high blood pressure is the top one, okay? Hypertrophy is exaggerated growth, from the roots hyper, meaning overmuch, and trophy, meaning food or nourishment. So you've had too much food or too much nourishment. You grow too much, right? And you'll see here, when we talk about hypertrophy, we're usually talking about exaggerated growth like a bodybuilder or something.
All right, and to finish up, here's Yoda again. Do or do not do, there is no try, right? Make sure you get your exercises done. Make sure your key gets finished. You have lots to study. And you know where to go if you have questions, okay? Good luck.